Detective Comics 990. James Robinson writing, Stephen Segovia on the art. Now, one of the complaints that we've had in the last couple of issues of this is the dialogue for Batman being a little bit off. I actually think this is... I don't dislike this issue. I think there's fun to be had in this issue. There's one scene in particular I like a lot. But I do think Batman's dialogue is the worst it's been in this arc.
You mean like these insipid goons?
I wasn't even thinking of that. I want to get the exact bubble here that I didn't like. It's just a couple of pages in. It's when so obviously we ended the last issue with him finding Two-Face, right? And
Yeah.
It's just the fact it's the third page after the 2-page spread. I really had a problem with this bubble. It just sounded so unbat. It sounded so teenage. I've battled New Gods, man. First of all, Batman saying "man" at the end of a sentence like that is weird. No. And then the rest of this bubble, this gang of fools who can't even shoot straight, apparently. Really? Really? Like, when has Batman ever said "really" at the end of a sentence in this context?
What page is this?
It's like
there it is. It's on the second page. That's right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like,
Leave the snark to Alfred, Bruce, because he's better at it than you are.
Yeah, I mean... I could almost buy Dick saying some of this, but not all of it. Like,
especially now.
Especially now, yes.
It's such a weird one because I forgot Cobra was involved after the last issue that was so focused on Two-Face.
Yeah, tracking down Two-Face.
Yeah, we get back to Cobra.
Well, I mean, that's actually the scene I really like is the GCPD when Cobra show up and the lights go out and they're like just massacring people left and right.
Yeah.
And like, Gordon's trying to hold his own and he's almost going to get shot and then Harvey Dent jumps in and saves him. I was like, oh, that scene was really good. It was really effective. The art's good throughout, but the art was really good in that scene. It played with the darkness, the shadows, and it was really good. But there was no Batman. That was the impressive thing. Is you were expecting Batman to jump in at any point, and he never did. It was Two-Face who helped.
Yeah, and I also like they're paying homage to Long Halloween, with how it's affecting Gordon too, because like you forget like Gordon and Dent were friendly. They were on the same side. He was the district attorney, and he was a cop. Because I don't think he was commissioner yet at that point.
Yeah, lieutenant maybe. Something like that.
Yeah, so they were on friendly terms. So how it affected, the loss of his friend and him becoming Two-Face. So I like that it's playing with those three as it goes. And then Duke shows up, and I don't want to become a self-parody, but...
Actually... The only complaint I have about this, well, it's not the book, but the only complaint I have about the art in the book is that Duke looks about 35.
Yeah, he does not look young whatsoever.
He looks like he's been to war and back. Like he's came back after 3 tours and he's this big macho man.
The sun does do damage when you're out in it too long, and he is the signal.
He is, he's the Batman of the daylight. Yes.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to be self-parody because I don't hate Duke in and of himself, but I did feel this scene was a little superfluous. It was just like Robinson reminding us that Duke's operating in the daytime and he is doing important stuff. I
don't think the purpose of the scene is to remind us about Duke. I think the point of the scene is to contrast them with Batman, because Batman in his awful dialogue are there to remind us what type of character Batman is, because that's how it relates to Dent for the rest of the story.
Yeah, and you can't use any of the other Bat children right now. Having Babs there would have been weird. Can't have Dick because he's off having a mental crisis.
Well, now you get into your stereotype Duke hate because.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if you want to have that scene, who else are you going to use? There really is nobody, so you have to use Duke.
Okay, I thought you were saying there why didn't they use X, Y?
No.
Okay.
No, I understand why they didn't use anybody else. Okay. You can't use Tim. Tim's busy. You can't. I mean, even Damian would have felt weird. So you have to use Duke, and I actually don't hate that use, but it just feels very superfluous here. Okay. Like we get a whole page of him doing the signal stuff, and you know what? I wouldn't be adverse because it seems like Robinson gets Duke more than any of the other writers that I've encountered. So I wouldn't even mind Robinson doing a signal book and like, what's he getting down to in the daytime versus what we've gotten before. So
yeah. So yeah, but we end with Batman coming to find Two-Face, and Two-Face wasn't quite expecting him to find this place.
No.
And he's like, I want to talk, and obviously you're getting the impression here that they're going to actually kind of find neutral ground to take on Cobra.
Yeah.
Like Cobra's the real big bad of this story.
Yeah.
Despite what
Two-Face
is up to.
Two-Face will shoot his own guys in the face, but he's not a terrorist. He has some standards.
Yeah, it's called 50-50. That's his standard.
Yeah. So I always think that's hilarious, where he's like, oh, come on. Like, these guys mean nothing to me, but I don't like the fact that there's terrorists in Gotham City. So,
yeah.
You know.
So that's
so
what
do you think
building up to.
Do you think Dent is shining through a little bit, or do you think Two-Face is playing to his advantage?
I think you want to hope he is, because of that moment with Gordon where he says Harvey, and then Two-Face runs off into the night. And I think Batman's right to be skeptical. Part of me thinks it's a ruse that Two-Face is doing this to play Batman and give him the seed of hope. But part of me wants to hope that he is. It's really him.
I like that when he's written as a wild card that way, to where he really does have that split personality, that Harvey could pop in. Which is why I don't think I liked the All-Star Batman stuff that Snyder did with Two-Face, because he just made him so maniacal. He was almost Joker light in that way. But I like that he can be that wild card. I get that.
My problem with that All-Star Batman story was just how stupid most of it was. I'm
just saying, I understand what Snyder was trying to do with Two-Face, but by upping him that much more. But I like when he's used as this. You never know which way he's going to lean. He could be the district attorney that does have a sense of right and wrong, or he can be the guy that's obsessed with duality, and this plays right into that. What if he embraces the fact?
And the cheap cliffhangers, that's the other thing I hated about that All-Star Batman story. That was full of cheap cliffhangers. Anyway, it kind of falls into line with the previous two, where it's nothing special, it's not terrible though. The Batman dialogue is pretty iffy, probably the iffiest it's been.
Yep.
But the plot's fine. It's got a couple of standout scenes that are actually really good though. So the art's good. Like I say, Segovia's a solid artist.
Yeah.
This is alright. So, what you give it about?
I have to give it a 7.5.
Yeah, I don't know if I can agree with that. I feel like this is more of a 6.5.
Okay.
Batman's dialogue is just too off for me to let that pass.
There you go.
But the art's good, and like I say, I really like the scene in the JCPD. So 6.5 from moi.